We are not members of the LGBTQ plus community. We approach this podcast as learners, not experts. Our intent is to educate ourselves and engage thoughtfully, not to exploit or speak on behalf of others. The opinions shared are our own and may not reflect everyone's experiences. We welcome feedback and invite correction so we can continue to grow and be better allies. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to First Time in Drag. I am Kevin, and this is Dax. And we are here on episode 6, Absolut Drag Ball, where the queens are putting together. The whole episode is centered around this maxi challenge of doing an Absolut Vodka themed drag ball. So before we dive in to the specifics, I want to talk a little bit about the intro and like how the episode starts again, right?
Let's
just a little bit of background about the episode. We have guest judges again, this time Jeffrey Moran, who I guess is somebody from the marketing team or something, some executive level or something at Absolut. I don't think they ever gave him like an official title. They called him something, but I don't think it was like his official title, and I didn't look him up. And then Maria Conchita Alonso, who I think is like a designer. So they were kind of interesting. I'll get into some of Jeffrey's like takes as we talk about the judging segment, but I wanted to go ahead and establish that before we dive in. So
I think Maria was Miss Colombia, Miss Venezuela. Yeah. She was some type of pageant star, from what I remember.
Yeah. I think she had good takes. Jeffrey was kind of here or there, but I think Maria had some good takes.
Yeah, I agree. Jeffrey didn't really say a lot. Maria also didn't get much into the edit, but she said good things about BB, and we know that goes over well with me. So
yeah, you love that. We know you love that. Yep. Okay, so speaking of the queens and things people have to say about them. That was a horrible segue, but whatever. We'll leave it in. We start the episode off with more talking heads, kind of like the previous episode, right? So Chanel and Rebecca again going at it with each other. It starts, I think, with Rebecca first, talking about how like the other queens don't like her. And then it jumps to Chanel, who just reinforces that, kind of yet again calling her fake and saying she like doesn't like her.
But also, like, I think Rebecca goes a little bit into the fact that this is a competition and is even like listing how she needs to knock these people down and make sure that she makes it to the end of the competition and wins. This competition is obviously everything to Rebecca, and she's treating it as such. She's definitely acting as a competitor. Very competitive. But overall, I think the other queen's perception of Rebecca, relatively accurate, other than being a little two-faced, a little like seeking the attention and drama in order to like win some form of sympathy card. But also like nowhere near the talent of some queens that have already left the show.
Yeah. Looking at you, Jade.
Yeah, absolutely. Angina as well. I mean, hell.
And Angina, yeah. Yeah, at a certain point, Rebecca, it's confusing why Rebecca is still around. It kind of stays that way for me through the season so far. This episode doesn't help a lot.
It doesn't.
We get those talking heads, and we talked about this last episode too, that, you know, Rebecca is treating this like a competition and is very much like, not only am I working to make myself look good, I'm kind of working to make all of you look bad. Yep. Which is a take. It's a competitive take. I can respect it. But I do think it's kind of hurting her overall with, like, especially when we get to later on in this episode, when the queens are asked a pretty great question about, I don't remember if we had it earlier in the season when they got asked.
I think they
did critique each other, but I do think they get asked this before, right?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Like, who should go home and why?
Yes.
Yeah,
But
so
like
so they
early,
get asked
like in
yeah,
the I think it's early. I think it's like in the girl group,
yeah,
like
it's like
which
the
was
second
episode
episode or
2, right?
something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So everybody had like real basic opinions and takes on everybody. So when they ask it again this episode, people got things to say. And that's kind of where I think it comes back to bite Rebecca in the ass a little bit. But just in general, like attitude or not, approach to the competition or not, I don't think Rebecca has the talent or the skill at the level of Jade, Ongina, and the rest of the queens that are still here. Like, I think just based on merit, Rebecca probably should have gone home earlier.
yeah. Definitely slipping through the cracks somehow. I agree.
Yeah. And then we see a little bit of that in the mini challenge. So there is a mini challenge for this. It's pretty short. It's just a Vogue off. Vogue, did we cover that in the drag glossary that
I don't think we did. We didn't.
Dang, okay.
I
Well,
was
Rue
taken by
explained it.
surprise. Yeah, I didn't really know what it was or what to expect. Like, I've heard of voguing. Like, I understand like the
Yeah.
framing of the face, or like you do some shit with your hands. I don't know, but like I
Yeah.
understood that it was a thing. I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
understand the context. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so Rue does put that context out there. Lets us know voguing comes from like Paris is Burning, which I think I mentioned when we were talking about reading in the library.
Yes.
And is also kind of made famous by Madonna. So the queens are asked to do a Vogue off, which is also kind of a big part of a drag ball. I'm learning, I guess. I don't really know a ton about drag balls. I always assumed they were like pageants, but I do know they have like dance segments and stuff because I've seen clips of them. So maybe voguing is like a segment in a drag ball. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll both learn together at some point. But the queens are all asked to vogue and have like a Vogue off, and Rue's just going to pick whoever does the best. BB said she had never vogued before, but she goes first. And I think she does pretty well. Like, it doesn't look like most of the voguing I've seen, but she's giving it energy. You know, she's out there, you know, putting her all into it.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm looking for here, honestly.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the more athletic things, of course, in comparison to our last episode. Nowhere near as athletic as that, but that's specifically an athletic challenge. This is something that is very drag centric. That feels a little bit more athletic than what we've seen out of the queens so far. A lot more, what is it, like duck walking is what it looked like to me. So definitely plenty of duck walking and squats overall. But I mean, what happens for me is I'm just kind of watching people dance with some floppy hands and trying to judge off of this floppy hand dance who's doing the best. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know who's doing the best, but it sure as fuck wasn't Rebecca. Just going to put it out there.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point. I also nowhere near an expert on voguing and what good voguing is versus bad voguing, or like it's hand stuff around the face. I got that. I know that. I know there's duck walking. I know there's some like squats and spins and turns and stuff you can do. But I'm very similar to you. Even though I've seen it a few times, I still have no idea what I'm really looking for. So in my eyes, everybody did well. I think everybody did like a good job in general.
It looks. But one of them did a fucking backflip, bro. Chanel does a whole ass backflip.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get into. So for me, like, Nina did really well, and I was like surprised. And then Chanel comes on, and Chanel's fucking dancing all over that stage. And she's like, I'm a showgirl. Like, I'm out here dancing. I'm throwing it. They even make it a point. I wrote it in the notes. They make it a point to show the other queens cheering for Chanel when she finishes. Yeah. Because of how good she did. They did not show that for any of the other queens.
Nope.
The other queens just get up and do their little dance. Everyone's like, woo, go get it. And then we just cut to a new queen. Chanel finishes and like, they cut to the queens and we're like, woo, hell yeah, clapping. Like, Chanel kills it.
Absolutely.
Then Rue,
I think I wrote down.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote down, where is it? If you do a backflip, you should win, right? Word for word. Yeah. If you do a backflip, you should win, for sure.
Right? Yeah, especially if you're the only one that does a backflip.
Honestly.
Crazy.
But what happens? Tell us what happens, Kevin. Tell the people what goes on.
What happens here in episode 6, the scene of the crime. Rue announces the top 2 out of this voguing challenge, and the first one is Nina, which, hey, don't disagree with. Nina killed it. Great. And we're all expecting the next name to come out of Rue's mouth to be Chanel, right? I think everybody, even Chanel, like, obviously Chanel, everybody else was expecting that. And Rue says, Rebecca? Like, what? Rebecca had like a short edit. I think BB and Nina had longer screen time than Rebecca did in the challenge. Chanel's shown people cheering.
This world, bro. Out of this world. What is going on? What is happening here?
I think it's crazy. Crazy. Obviously, everything that we see is heavily edited. It's very possible that Rebecca didn't get any favors in the editing room and Chanel got all the favors in the world in the editing room. But like, everybody looks floored. So that's kind of why I don't think it's an editing thing. Like, BB, Nina, and Chanel look shooketh. Right?
Bro, listen, unless they edited out a whole ass back fucking flip out of Rebecca's voguing, there's no fucking way. There's no way. I'm just like, I'm trying my hardest to insert myself into this competition show and like experience it. But goddamn, Rue, you're making it really fucking hard because I feel like it's rigged the whole way.
Yeah.
Rebecca's fucking getting dragged along, and Rebecca could literally take a shit on the fucking runway and make it through. I swear to God.
Yeah, and Rue would be like, "You'll do better next time, honey." Like,
honestly, look how far you've come. Look how far you've come. My God.
Yeah. On episode 1, you would have shit and pissed on the. That's what we're improving.
Right. You made marked improvement. There's no piss this time.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's crazy, and this whole mini challenge kind of turns into an example of where I think Chanel is coming from, where it does seem a little bit like not only is Rebecca getting a bit of favoritism and like kind of winning things that maybe objectively she shouldn't be winning, but also Chanel is getting like maybe unfairly critiqued about some shit. And
Chanel
like
gets
Chanel
her dick
comes out
kicked pretty
here
hard, bro.
And does really well, and like at best is safe, and everyone's just like, you feel fake. And that's like the only critique she gets. You're too perfect. You feel too perfect.
Yep.
And it's
all the time.
That's not constructive even. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, I get that you think I'm insincere, but like, you're not giving me an explanation on how to address it or like any way to do anything about it. You're just saying, oh, I don't believe you.
Yeah, there's not enough personality in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So it seems really harsh. And I think that sets the tone for the rest of the episode. Because we get a lot of Chanel, Rebecca back and forth this episode.
Definitely.
Yeah. The two queens that get chosen as the top for the voguing challenge do end up voguing against each other in a final vogue off, which results in, surprise, surprise, Nina winning.
Thank God.
Yeah, the only mild truth to my surprise, surprise joke is that Ruth seems to pick Rebecca no matter how she does, which is wild. But it was obvious that Nina should have won, especially now that Chanel is not competing. Like, Nina was clearly the best one out of everybody other than Chanel.
Honestly, bro, just like fuck Rebecca at this point. Rebecca could put on a fantastic show, and I probably still wouldn't like it because I've just been turned against her. Not because of what other people have said, but as an audience member, I'm turned against this person that seems like she doesn't deserve to be here.
Right. I agree. Feels like she doesn't deserve to be here. Feels like she has a shitty attitude with her competitors and with the competition. Like, Rebecca is acting like, oh, she's this strong competitor and she's really focused on winning is everything she wanted. But then we jump back to the Queens of All Media challenge and her throwing a fit and walking into the bathroom and like being a baby. Yeah. Like, being a child about stuff. And it's like, you got me hard pressed to believe that you're like, oh, this some focused, dedicated, determined competitor while you're also throwing temper tantrums and like acting like a child.
There's no way. I mean, she's not a performer overall.
No.
She may be a drag queen, not a performer.
At this point, Rebecca's a cross-dresser that's in a drag queen challenge.
I don't know the distinction between those two, but I feel like that's a pretty hearty insult.
Like, I feel like she brings nothing else to the table except that she can look moderately good in women's clothing.
Yeah, I
It's like,
mean,
that's
Rebecca
it.
is the fish, right? Is
It's the same two
the
little
final
cards we
fish
were talking
left.
about.
And
Yeah.
then two cards have been
Yeah.
played really, really well. Hey, listen, if your cards are two jokers, who says you can't win the game?
Yeah. I mean,
But
and it,
let's not
oof.
play. You got them jokers because the deck is stacked anyway.
Yeah. The deck does seem to be clearly stacked. And that the mini challenge again just serves as like a weird example of this. I'm not sure if there's like some awareness in the editing room that's showing this, if it's my personal take that's sort of biasing the way I'm seeing the episode that's making it seem this way. But it does seem like everyone involved in the show is picking up on this like favoritism that Rebecca is getting. And it's getting, I may be projecting that. I don't know, but that's the feeling I get while I'm watching it.
I won't say that it's everyone in the show. I'm not sure that I picked that up from the judges, but the queens are definitely very vocal throughout this episode and
Oh, yeah.
previous episodes about how they do not think Rebecca deserves to be here. So,
Yeah.
take it as it is. This is where we're at. And Rebecca's still fucking here in the top 4.
They're the ones living it, right? So I think
Yes.
if anybody knows, they probably know best. So yeah, rough. Nina walks away as winner of this mini challenge. Chanel walks away furious, like fuming, and you can tell. There's a ton of tension in the workroom, and Rue goes to announce and kind of explain the main challenge, the maxi challenge we mentioned before, the Absolut House Ball, where the queens are tasked with designing 3 separate runway looks, one swimwear look, one CEO realness look, and I put it in all caps. The prompt was not to look like a drag queen, look like a real life, believable executive woman. Important, especially for someone like Chanel, who tends to make everything look like a drag queen.
Very important.
And then the third final prompt is the big one, evening gown, extravaganza, eleganza. So excited for that. I think, honestly, hearing this explanation, knowing that this is going to be a designing and a sewing challenge, I'm already kind of lifting Nina and BB up. Like, I think both of them have done well in challenges like this in the past. Nina has demonstrated she's a bit of a designer and can work with creating, especially episode 1, right? That's like your favorite Nina look. So I'm excited to see what they put together, and I'm excited to see what Nina does.
Yeah, Nina definitely probably the best seamstress overall left. I mean, just look at the last episode where she created a full unique dress for her partner, right? Her makeover partner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
super excited to see what Nina does here. But as we get into it, like a lot of these queens seem to be super uncomfortable really, really late in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very uncomfortable with designing and stuff specifically. I'm falling behind on our slideshow here. Absolute Ball, we've talked about it, blah, blah. Yeah, when we get into the workroom, right? After the queens are explained, this is what they're doing. Oh, sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Nina wins and gets the ability to assign flavors. So Absolute, I believe, is releasing a series of these flavored vodkas. This seems to be like a promo event for them. So they have 4 flavors, and each queen is going to be assigned that flavor, and that has to theme or inspire their runway, right? And Nina, as the winner of the mini challenge, gets to pick these. Realistically, I don't know how much of a game there is to play here. They're all fruit. They're all like good colors, like good color palettes. So there's not a ton of, I don't know that anybody could really get paired with a bad thing versus someone else getting paired with a good thing in this.
No, I don't think so. I think the advantage here is just Nina getting to choose what color palette she wants to work with. And then you could basically just toss the other ones wherever you want, and it is what it is.
Right. Because the color palettes and the flavors we have are raspberry, mango, mandarin, and citron. So basic colors, right? Like basic colors on the color wheel. A lot of things to do with them. A lot of things you can do with them. Some of them may be a bit loud for the category of like CEO realness, but like then you have them. And when we get to the runway, we'll kind of see what some of the queens do. to address the loudness of the color. But yeah, I don't think Nina has much of a game to play here. Just pick whatever one you want, the best Nina, and then just hand the rest of them out arbitrarily. It doesn't matter.
I will say
so
I wasn't surprised by Nina's choice here.
Oh, me either. It seemed like
definitely, as soon as they listed, mango and citron, raspberry, mandarin, I looked at it, I was like, Nina's going to pick mango. We know. I mean, look at the color palette. That is Nina's color palette right there.
Yeah. And of course, right off the bat, doesn't even hesitate. Nina, what color palette would you like? Mango.
Just right out of her mouth. Yep. Immediately.
Yeah, immediately mango. She goes on to assign BB to raspberry, Chanel to mandarin, and Rebecca to citron. So again, not a ton to say about this. Red, orange, yellow, all great colors, right? Easy to work with, I think. So getting into the workroom and what kind of goes on after the queens have been announced, they establish the colors everybody's working with. So the queens just dive in. I think they have at least 2 days or parts, like maybe the second half of day 1 and the first half of day 2 to work on this. But there is definitely a break where the queens leave and come back into the workroom. So they seem to have some amount of time, right? To put all these looks together. It doesn't appear to be that much of a race against the clock, though I think in situations like this, it's always a little bit of that. But the queens seem to be set up for success. And then we jump to BB right off the bat, just being stressed, very stressed. Like
stressed
don't
to the
know
point
what
of
to do
doing
with
nothing.
These colors.
Yeah, work paralysis mode.
Yeah, like wandering around the workroom, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, like vocalizing this a lot. We have a couple of talking heads, I think, of Rebecca being like, I think BB might go home this episode. And you're like, shut the fuck up, Rebecca.
Which, by the way, that was something that was like said that was a clip that was pulled into the intro. And I wrote down the note, if BB goes home, I don't know if I can watch anymore. I'm just putting it out. If BB goes home, I don't know how much longer I can watch. This is going to be a short ass podcast because they're going to send BB home. I'm going to be fucking pissed. It's going to take me weeks before I can even turn it back on.
Yeah. I mean, the whole workroom, BB is stressed. So I'm nervous about it. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Nervous. There is a part that I wrote down where BB's like just sitting there kind of in her like depressive paralysis state, and Nina walks up and goes like on her lip.
Like, hey, we've been with each other for weeks, we're close now, all right? I'm gonna come flick that lip, just a little lip on you,
just
get you started up. Yeah.
That shit was hilarious. It was like flipping a switch. BB fucking laughed. I would laugh. I would not be able to stay. Like, that would do it for me. I'd be done. I'd be like, okay, fuck you. That was funny. I'll do things.
It was legitimately a jump start. You know how you start a plane by like pushing the propeller? That's what it was. That's what it was, like the World War II plane jump start. Got the lip going. Oh, BB's awake, ready to do some work.
Yeah, you better get at it, girl. Like, ugh. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, I wrote that down. I laughed out loud. I had to pause the episode. I was cracking up.
But BB wasn't the only one with a little bit of anxiety, really.
No. We also see Chanel struggling quite a bit. She's talking about how she doesn't sew. She's not like a sewer in general. And she complains a lot about maybe a rough way to say that, but she talks a lot about how she feels like she's good at adding things or kind of like building onto something. But when it comes to the actual formation and structure of it, she struggles a lot. So she's like good at maybe designing or drawing what she has in her mind.
I think she's
just maybe not good at putting it together.
I think she's an assembler. Like if you give her pieces, complete pieces that she doesn't have to build herself, she can put all that together into a complete look. But if she has to build the pieces herself, out of it. Not a seamstress, not the creative genius behind putting it together. I think we've actually had this conversation, a little link into me and Kevin's life, about a storyteller versus a writer. Chanel, a storyteller, right, can tell the story really, really well as long as she's given the story. But she's not the writer. She's not going to write the story.
Yeah. Very much the performer. I think that's an excellent analogy, and it seems pretty on display in this challenge with Chanel struggling through sewing, putting together these looks. We'll get into how they look. I have great visuals for all of the looks, so we'll go through them one by one. But I, also nervous for BB and Chanel, who two people I didn't think were going to have too much of an issue with this. Both of them seem to be struggling a lot, so I was very nervous about that.
For the first time here, I think we see like some weird versatility out of Rebecca, who's just like ultra confident, has enough time to comment on how the other queens are frantic and anxious, and she goes about it like she knows exactly what she wants to do, which, like, good for her. But I already told you, I'm done with her. Fuck her.
Yeah.
I hope that she pokes herself in the finger while she's sewing. Like, I just want it to be over at this point.
Yeah. I wrote that down too. Seems oddly confident in this episode, like almost arrogant.
Almost like she knows she couldn't get eliminated.
Right. It's extra frustrating, I think, given the like odd favoritism we saw earlier in this episode and everything that we've seen in the last couple of episodes over the season. Very frustrating to see Rebecca have this kind of arrogant take. There is a moment where BB is like struggling to come up with patterns and like how to design a specific piece, and she approaches Nina, and Nina's like, go give me a piece of paper, I'll draw it out for you, all that kind of stuff. I low-key love that kind of thing. I have a bit of a Goku approach to competition where it's like, I'll help you, I don't care, I want you to put out the best thing you can possibly put out, because I'm still gonna beat that, so I don't need to sabotage you. You know what I mean?
I hear that.
And I kind of like that take. And Nina is being very helpful. I think Nina's just honestly nice and helpful. I don't know that she's doing it because she has like a competitive opinion about it. But
no, but Rebecca has an opinion on that.
Rebecca sure does, and thinks it's silly and is like, I'm just over here focused on my thing. It's like,
no way would I stop down to help anyone else. How dare she? Crazy.
Exactly. More kind of insight into that like hyper competitive, I'm not just making myself look good, I'm also working to make you look bad kind of take that Rebecca has about the whole show. We do also get a little bit of like, as I mentioned, this was a long workroom segment. They have like multiple day breaks. They like come back into the workroom. Everybody's working and burning and churning on their stuff. And then we get a little bit of a break where Charo comes in and they have like this small absolute cocktail party. And Charo dances around, right? Coochie. Gets all the queens in a good mood, like uplifts their spirits. They have a little dance party and everything. And then Rue caps it off with a little bit of a twist on the challenge, informing the queens that they now have to include the actual live fruit in their evening gown looks.
Which was a hella twist. That's a hella twist, man.
Yeah, real fruit. It's not like, hey, we have a bunch of these plastic or fake fruit that you can manipulate. Like, you got to take real living live fruit that will rot at some point and make this, like, work this into your clothing.
Yes, which for some of these fruits, not an easy task, bro.
Not easy.
Not an easy task whatsoever.
BB comments on that, having raspberries, and like raspberries, like they're a pretty fruit and they're kind of small, so I guess they have options. They're messy, they fall apart, they're weak, they don't have any structure. Like,
they stain, I can't imagine so easy.
Trying to work.
They stain so easy. Raspberries. You ever seen a kid go ham on some raspberries, man? That pink that's everywhere on their fingers and on their face, it doesn't come off in a day. It doesn't come off in 2 days. It takes a couple of days, a couple of showers to get that stuff off, man.
Yeah, that was my first thought when BB was talking about working with the raspberries. And I was like, what'd you even do here? Like, maybe like pin or sew a bunch of raspberries onto like a white fabric and lean into the stain and like try to get it to stain in a colorful way or something. I have no idea, but I
only had earrings and necklace. Yeah, the only thing I could think of was earrings and necklace. Like, that's about as easy as I can go. Is candy, maybe a candy bracelet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's going to be looking like she's going to a rave if I'm if I'm designing the outfit. Listen, I had no idea how she was going to do it, and even like the mango. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're
Mm-hmm.
just going to perch a whole mango in your hair, as soon as you cut that mango open, that thing is hard to work with, bro. You got a giant
Yeah.
seed in the middle, so you're not just cutting it in half. You cut it off, it's slippery, it's like super juicy. The skin is actually flimsy, even though the fruit is firm inside. Like, what are you going to do with that? Honestly, between all of these fruits, like the raspberry and the mango, really, really tough to work with.
Probably the hardest. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, orange skins and stuff, really easy to work with. They're thick. Like the rind is thick. You could sew
Yes.
that on the stuff. It's easy to clean it out. I think Rebecca even comments that she feels like she got a little lucky on that because it was just so much easier for her to work with her fruit than everybody else. And it does kind of end up shooting Nina in the foot a little bit. Like, had Nina known this when she picked them, she may have picked different fruit for everybody.
Citron
Right?
for sure. Yeah. Nina would have gone
Yeah.
citron, would have had that electric yellow, but she's stuck with mango. And now she's got to come up with something.
Yeah, so that was a little bit wild. It does stunt Nina's win out of the mini challenge a little bit. Like, it kind of impacts the value of her ability to assign those fruits in not knowing that. Luckily, she didn't give herself raspberry. I do think raspberry by a long shot is the hardest one to work with out of these.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so definitely tough for BB. But that's mostly it. As I think you mentioned, there's not a ton to talk about for the workroom. There's the regular back and forth drama between Chanel and Rebecca's talking heads, where they just kind of continue to express a dislike for each other. And then that's really it. We see BB and Chanel struggling, just nervous and struggling through the whole workroom, which was scary.
Yeah, which had me nervous because those are the two like pros left, honestly. I know, listen, Nina's been doing this for a long time as well. But as far as like pro performance, like one, BB's on top for me. Two, Chanel is actually a Vegas showgirl, right? And to see those two stressing so hard while Rebecca is just super calm, honestly had me stressing this whole episode because if Rebecca made it through one more time, I was going to throw up.
I know. It's crazy. It's such a weird dynamic to be here on what is essentially the final episode before the finale, right? This is the semifinals, right? So to see this dynamic change where Rebecca is just sitting pretty in this like confident spot, who we feel like was just hand-handed to her. And then some of the strongest queens all season are stressing and like can't pull it together. Felt weird, and I didn't love it. I do think that's a good time for us to segue into the looks, and let's actually dive into the looks. I want to talk about each one individually. We can also talk a little bit about what the judges said about it, but we'll also have a judges review segment later when we get into the question and everything. So for starters, they're all in order as they appear on the show. So first up, we have BB. And we'll go through all of BB's looks. The show actually breaks it up by category. So we see all the executive looks, then we see all the swimwear, then we see all the evening gown. For us in review of this, I'm just grouping all the queen's looks together. We'll go through all of BB's, all of Nina's, all of Chanel's, etc.
Perfect.
All right.
So yeah, this right here again. I don't. Did we actually go through who got what color? I think we said Nina was mango, right?
Yep.
BB here,
BB is raspberry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So something that was interesting about this episode to me is even though we were in the workroom for so long, we really didn't get any insight as to what these outfits were shaping up to look like, right? No. There was no like preview image of these outfits, maybe a little bit on Nina when she was getting some advice, or not Nina, excuse me, Chanel, when she was getting some advice. We saw like a dress in the background that may have been the evening dress, but overall, like no previews, no looks.
No, so these are all a surprise.
And with BB having such an issue with the color palette and the raspberries themselves, didn't really know what she was going to come out looking like. When I think of CEO, executive, I think we all think of the black pantsuit or the black skirt, mini skirt, whatever it may be. And BB delivers here with the splash of that color. And I think we really have to zoom in on the realness portion. This is supposed to be a real working executive woman. And does this not deliver that almost perfectly?
Yeah, I think BB hits the nail on the head with this. I was shocked because, again, she's depicted as struggling so much in the workroom. And like you said, we didn't get any examples of this. So it was a surprise to both of us when it comes out. This is fantastic. It's fantastic. The one thing I want to note, and we don't really get a ton of clarity on this later. I thought they might dive into it in the judges segment. Well, they don't. They do say for the CEO realness segment, you can use existing clothing that you brought.
Yes.
In the workroom, Chanel and Nina both mentioned that they don't really have anything that's going to work for this because neither of them dress like this. But we don't know about Rebecca and BB. So I don't know how much of this look BB sewed from scratch, how much of this look was something she brought. But I don't think that matters. Like, it's perfect. Like, I don't think there's a better way to represent. And we'll see this because there are 3 other options, right, of this executive look. I think this is the best one. This nails it. It looks so good. I have seen this woman 1,000 times, both in TV and in real high-end offices. This is what the office. This is the prompt. Yeah.
Absolutely.
BB understood the assignment and delivered.
Yeah, this is perfect. I mean, there's not much more to say about it. It is the prompt. This is what we wanted, and BB delivered it.
Nailed it. The only thing I wrote is this looks amazing. Absolute killer look, right?
Yeah.
Pun intended, because it's for the absolute.
I see for the absolute. I see what you did there.
All right. Next up for BB is the swimwear. Her swimwear challenge.
Yeah, man.
Also
Where did his dick go?
Yep. As Rue said, ancient Chinese secrets.
That's a running theme. That's a running theme for me for every swimwear comment is where did this dude's dick go? Because whoa. So
glad
also,
Angina's not still in the challenge, probably.
Yeah, very glad because it would have been very prominent. But honestly, I loved how they kind of went with the they all came out with this sash. They all went with kind of the pageant queen swimsuit type thing, and this is I've seen this chick in the Miss Universe competition, whatever it is. I watched those things with my mom when I was young. This feels like a callback to those images.
Yeah, this is a great look. Again, surprised given how much struggling she was doing, or at least depicted to be doing. I think it looks really well made. Like the craftsmanship looks really good. It's not crafty feeling. We know she made this one from scratch. Mm-hmm. Making a swimsuit is just difficult. I have now seen like sewing tutorials and things on making swimwear. It's just a hard thing to do. That is possibly also why the top took the form that it did in this like sort of collared, maybe braided or twisted material that comes around, as opposed to like the standard spaghetti straps and stuff that you would see in some swimsuits. But this, I think, kills it. Like, fits perfectly. And again, they even mention it, I think, when they're talking about the swimwear being a specific challenge for drag queens and how well they can hide their manhood, right? So it's like an actual judging rubric item for this runway, and like,
well done.
BB's doing a great job. Not seeing anything. Not
seeing jack squat. A little scared.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about like, I don't know, maybe this is like an ethnic or cultural advantage, but I don't know if there's padding here, but just like the shape of the body, so feminine, like it's just hourglass. The hips really is is what's getting me. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm at least half of an African American man. I got wide hips as well. I don't know what it would look like if I shredded down to, I don't know, 150 pounds like BB probably is here, 140 pounds. But the hips, man, really, really selling it.
Yeah, just selling the whole look, the attitude, the vibe, the walk on the runway, all of it. Killing it again, just killing it for the whole runway challenge.
And this is what we expect out of BB, because BB's the best one that's left up there. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm going to say it every
Yeah.
single time I get a chance to. Look at it, get used to it, because if BB doesn't win this competition, there's something fucking wrong.
There's something wrong. Something's up. Yeah, like constantly performs really well. The workroom had us nervous, but then the runway just put all the concerns to rest, I think.
Absolutely.
So we've got one final look for BB. It's the evening gown, the extravaganza, eleganza look. And this is what she does. Remember, she has to work in actual raspberries to this look. And she does. And I think pretty successfully.
Honestly, that's one of the coolest hairstyles I think we've seen come out so far. Great. And the way that she incorporated the raspberries as like these clips that keep this hairstyle up, like very thematic. I don't know. Yeah. I thought it was a cool look. I don't know much about like how the dress comes together. I've seen like, I guess, this style of dress before to a certain extent, but just the sheer ability to work with these like little squishy fruits and turn them into like something that works, something that I think actually looks like a piece. If those raspberries were fake, if those raspberries were jeweled, people would be buying that in a store to use in their hair.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you kind of mentioned it when we talked about BB getting assigned raspberries, that like you're not left with a ton of options to work with them. And you said like necklace and earrings, right? As like accessories. BB clearly takes that route and goes accessories with them, but they don't look like an afterthought.
No,
that was kind of my concern with that, where like if you just throw a couple of raspberry accessories on, it'll look like an afterthought and it won't really fit. But no, this whole look is extremely cohesive. I think it looks great. I think this dress is called like a mermaid cut, where it has the like thin like pencil skirt that goes down to the knees and then flares out into what looks like a bit of a mermaid tail, right?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's a gorgeous dress. It fits so well. Making something like this that fits this tight, that doesn't make some part of you roll, doesn't bunch up somewhere, especially around the like above the hips, around the waist, you'll get bunching, things like that. The whole thing will try to slide up, right? All to do all of that and to make it fit and design all of that, like tailor all of it this well, I was blown away. I think this is gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, I think I forget often that these things are made from scratch. I don't know the pitfalls of making a dress like that. I mean, I guess it would make sense that it would bunch in some areas, if at all possible. I don't know what kind of voodoo Cameroon magic BB used to get this thing to stay in the shape that it did. I don't know. Maybe there's a kettlebell hanging down there, keeping keeping everything tight. But overall, legs, that is, now that you mentioned that, that's cool. That's amazing.
It's super impressive. Yeah. To be able to do this. And to think just a few days before this was filmed, this dress did not exist. It wasn't a thing. It was rolls of fabric.
Also, look at those arms, man. Goddamn. BB been working out.
BB has a nice body. Yeah.
Bro, got pecs to the delts, to the biceps. Well done, BB.
Yeah.
I'm working them arms.
She definitely pulls it off. And she is working this dress, right? She is wearing the fuck out of this dress. This dress is not wearing the fuck out of her.
Agreed.
She's
agreed. You know, it's funny. I think it was episode 1. No, it was episode 2 where I was mentioning how the third world lip really, really bothered me. This like low hanging lip. I've gotten used to it, and I think it like sells kind of this like impassioned, emboldened, like
kind of
super confident. Yeah. I don't know. It sells it now. I'm into it. I like the third world lip.
And I think something that might be helping that, especially with this look, is the makeup. This is the best BB's makeup has looked all season. I think one of the judges comments on that, and I totally agree. Like, BB did something different. I don't know enough to know what different she did, like conceptually compared to her other makeup looks, but BB looks so good. I was so nervous through the workroom and everything that BB was going to have a rough day. And then to come out here and just blow every single category away, and to be the first to walk out in each of these categories, crazy. Like sets the bar really high, and then it's just making the other girls chase to keep up for the rest of the episode.
Agreed. Yeah. Face is definitely facing here for sure.
Yeah. So good. So good. The whole thing. Love it. Up next, we have Miss Nina Flowers, and her fruit is mango. And this is her first executive realness look. This one is toned down, I'll say, like very toned down from what Nina normally does. This is very not drag. I feel like I've seen this outfit in an office before. It's not as like fashion forward or as impressive as what BB walked out in, right? It feels like everyday office wear, something maybe a receptionist or something would wear.
Yeah, agreed. It's not as form fitting. It's not like leading edge couture, but absolutely something that an everyday, even executive woman would wear.
Yeah,
like you're not going to be at the cutting edge of couture every day you go into the office. You got to be comfortable, right? So I think that this plays into that. This did kind of to me thicken Nina's legs in a weird way. It like really called attention to these really, really thick legs and these like giant cankle-like objects she has hooking her legs to her feet. Which, if I'm just looking at the outfit does the right things, checks the right boxes, but doesn't really do a lot for the body overall.
Yeah, it's not particularly flattering. And that kind of goes back to that sort of basicness about it, where I feel like BB came out serving Devil Wears Prada, and Nina is coming out serving regional manager of Target.
Yeah. AT&T, I don't know.
Both work for the prompt. But Nina is very, again, I think it was your favorite word from last time, very pedestrian.
Yes.
Yeah. So a little shocked because, again, Nina has shown herself to be a good designer. She did mention this prompt kind of threw her off a little bit. But yeah.
Shocked, maybe, but I think this also shows versatility for Nina, where she's usually this giant statement.
That's true.
Being able to really edit herself and bring herself down into something that is more real. Even the hair. I mean, this is the flattest hair we've ever seen out of Nina, period. And honestly, it looks good. You know what I'm saying? The hair looks like it could be her hair. So overall, I think that this shows dynamism that we haven't seen out of Nina before.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's a big difference and like a large step away from what she normally does. And we got to give her a lot of credit for that. She also mentions her inspiration for this look in the workroom when talking to Rue was her late mother, who had passed away about 5 years ago and was a receptionist. So I do think with that in mind, it very much explains the vibe that we're getting here. I think it's a good look. I think it works. Props to Nina all around. But especially coming right after BB's look, I was left a little underwhelmed.
Yeah, tough act to follow for sure.
Yeah. Up next, we have Nina's swimwear look. Now, this was a bit more, there's a bit more going on here than in the last executive look. And even though I don't love the color choice of this like shawl cape, I don't really know what you would call the like shoulder drapery that's going on in this swimsuit. Don't love that shoulder choice. I think overall I like the look and the concept of the look.
I think she should have lost the shot. Dude, where did his dick go? That's crazy to me. Hey, there's nothing there. Yeah, I think she could have lost the Shaw, and it would have been even more effective. Honestly, I think the Shaw is distracting from the overall look. I think if we really wanted to go with an extra accessory here, I think a sarong would have been like really, really cool, or a better idea than like this, I don't know, like crumpled up.
poofy shoulder,
Yeah,
kind
like
of. Yeah,
grandma's shawl that we decided to stick on top of it.
it reminds me of like a Skyrim coat or something, like a big fur collared coat kind of draped over this woman in the swimsuit. It doesn't look like it fits.
You know what it is? You remember it was number 4, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. They all get their dress robes and they have to go to this ball for the Goblet of Fire. And Ron Weasley gets this passed down dress robe that has like these weird, like knitted frilly elements up in the collar. And it is definitely giving Ron Weasley's dress robes just ill fitting, not really going with the rest of the theme, and definitely sticking out in the party at the Absolut Ball in the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah. That's, I think, spot on. It could have been a product of self-editing, and it would have been a more cohesive look altogether without it. Especially with the hair. I think she's got like a big hair going on. She's got a large headpiece on the front with this like huge updo ponytail that like drapes all the way back down. We kind of lose that in the shoulder piece. You don't see the hair all that much. The front piece kind of covers the hair a bunch, and then in the back it all blends in because it's a similar color, and it looks weird. It kind of makes it look like she's wearing this like large tall back piece as well. Like, yeah, I think it was a little bit of a miss. Overall the look is great, and again, like the tuck is kind of immaculate here. We've seen a couple examples of not great tucks through the season with Angina and Jade, so I think we can both appreciate, as we sit here and stare at all these men's crotches, how well it's done.
Oh man, you gotta say it like that. You gotta make me question what I'm doing with my life. First time in drag, first time for everything.
But man, well done. And then to do whatever you're doing, there's got to be some kind of taping back or something going on here. Do that, then put on heels and walk down a runway. The fuck?
Imagine the pulling.
I don't think I could
the
move.
Squishing.
Oh no.
I wouldn't be putting tape around there in the first place.
Uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. We better, maybe a rope would be better. I don't know. Either way, it sounds uncomfortable. It sounds like something you wouldn't catch me doing, even if I were dead. So glad that they can pull it off, because there ain't no fucking way.
Yeah. Wild. So mad respect for that. That's crazy. Finally, we have Nina's evening gown look. So what are your thoughts? I have some thoughts, but I want you to go first. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts were, oh man, what is her name? I should have looked it up because it popped into my head and I forgot to write it down, and it popped in my head again. The mother from Bewitched. What is her name? You know what I'm saying?
Is it Samantha? No,
Samantha
Moorhead?
is Agnes. This is very Agnes. This is the wicked mother-in-law that always pops up in Bewitched. Absolutely feeling the style. Big collar, big waist piece, the perfect hair, whatever her name is. That's who this is, 1,000%. I'm not saying it's a bad look, but it's definitely a callback to something similar.
Yeah. Now that I see pictures of Agnes, I agree. I definitely get the vibe here. Overall, I think this is a good look. Like, I like the decisions made here. I like the way she incorporated the mangoes to the skin. But I do think there were some like execution issues, which don't really come up in the judging, but the belt on the back and the like way it clasps is a little bit rough. I had that in my notes.
I also didn't notice that the mangoes, the judges mentioned this, and it's what made me notice, but the mangoes are like cut out. You can see when it comes in this clip to the collar, they're like cut out and sewn into the collar, or maybe glued onto it. I don't know. But those little triangle pieces are triangle pieces of mango, which like not the strongest incorporation, but I guess it's there. I mean, we just talked about how hard mango is to work with, so I guess I should be happy that it's even up there at all. Also,
it looks like a cohesive part of the dress. You know, it's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but
Yeah, two things about this. Um, this doesn't read like I'm going to the ball to me. This is like
Mhm.
maybe 60s house party, stay at home sort of thing. Um, does not read like
Mhm.
I'm going to the absolute ball.
Yeah, it is a little bit. We're having some people over later tonight
Yeah.
or something.
Also, blue mangoes. Maybe it's the filter. Maybe it's more green than it is blue. Maybe this dress is gold. Maybe this dress is blue. I don't know. But like, I'm not sure that the colors
Yeah.
of this dress are exactly in theme, Nina. Not sure about that.
Yeah, true. It's kind of it's like a teal blue. It's like a blue, maybe a turquoise even.
Yeah.
It's definitely a very blue leaning green. I assume it's what she was given to work with. But yeah, to your point, for sure, if you're here to represent mango and to promote like a mango vodka, what you're wearing is not giving me mango.
Nope. Not whatsoever.
Yeah, very true. So overall, I think Nina did well, but I'm honestly a little bit disappointed. I think I worked Nina up a lot in my head when I learned that this was like a design challenge. And I think she just came out here. There's nothing particularly wrong with any of the looks. There are some edits and some changes we would make, obviously, because we're expert designers and Nina could learn a lot from us. But I do think just personally, I was kind of underwhelmed, especially following BB all the time. Like BB comes out in it, just some of the best work she's done all season. Like BB just looks stunning every time she walks out on the runway, and then Nina follows directly behind and just underwhelms.
And when you're in the final four, underwhelming is not what you want to shoot for.
Yeah, you can't do it. We don't have room anymore for you to like learn and grow. It's we're here at the end. So yeah, moving on from Nina, bunch of great looks. Thanks, Nina. We have Chanel up next. This is Chanel's corporate look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, uh, a little revealing overall.
A
Not
little much.
not so revealing that it would be unacceptable in an office, but this is definitely like young secretary that's going to get told to maybe cover up one of her shoulders and not this by the executive. So this is the secretary that's sitting outside of BB's office. And when BB gets in, she goes into her office. She gets greeted by Chanel. She goes into her office, calls Chanel into her office and says, "Hey, you need to cover up one of these shoulders next time you come in. Go
Mm-hmm,
back to
mm-hmm.
work, please." That's what this reads to me.
Yeah, I don't love, I like the idea of the shoulder cutouts. Like, I think there is a way that this could have worked. No matter how you did it, I do think it airs a little bit on the side of inappropriate. Like, it's towing that line of like, is this appropriate for a workplace? Is it not? Uh, I don't love the black shoulder strap that we have peeking out on the right
Hmm.
side of this top. And at first I thought it was a bra strap, and I was like, no shot. Chanel's walking out here with one black bra strap sticking out of the shoulder cutouts. But I learned after looking at it, you can see it's actually worked in. I think she has like, it looks like there's a print on there, but I thought she had maybe a little bit of like a shoulder piece or something that this was holding on. It all looks like it's part of the top to me. Like it's not part of her bra underneath. Either way, I don't like it. I don't love it. It's
Honestly, it
the
looks
fact
like
that
an
we have to look
accident.
this hard. Right. Yeah. It looks unintentional. It doesn't look well placed. It doesn't look like it fits with the rest of the outfit. I don't like it. It throws it off. It makes the whole thing look asymmetrical in like a bad way. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It just irks me all around. On top of the necks, the tiny little necktie scarf thing going on. I don't even know, what is that, like an ascot or something? Like I don't know what you would call that.
I think that's what those are called. But I mean, that's not really what bothers me, though. I think just the top just doesn't. While if you were to just completely replace that top, I think we're in a good spot here. If you replace that top
Yeah.
with something else that is also
From the
orange,
belt
because it
down,
has
we're
to
doing
be
good.
belt
Yeah.
down, we're good. The neck piece doesn't bother me. You know, that's going to be part of that, like trying to be at the edge of the couture, whatever you call it. The hair is great. The makeup is, you know, makeuping. But the top with what I actually never even noticed the strap, but now that I see it, I can't unsee it. Looks like an accident. Just kind of throws the whole thing into a different field for me.
Yeah, not great. Which again, a little bit of a surprise. Like, there are a lot of things that are good about this look. I think the makeup, of course, is done really well. The wig looks really good. I just don't love it. And after, again, BB is setting the bar really, really high. BB looks fantastic. Some of the best looks she's had all season. This is the time to do it. If you're going to be doing it, I would expect that out of the rest of the girls. Nina comes out and looks good, but is underwhelming, but looks good, but is underwhelming. Maybe the pendulum swung a little too far for Nina, where she was like, I'm always really loud and have a lot going on. Let me reel it back a whole bunch and be like extremely pedestrian today. So like, don't love it, but I don't hate any of the looks. I don't think anything was done poorly. Then Chanel comes out and the first thing we get is this. And I'm like, this is not it. This is not it, Chanel. This is not doing it for me.
Agreed. Yeah, hopefully the other ones are stronger, because the very first shot, not the best shot.
Not the best. Not the best. Again, not horrible, but we are late into the season and we're judging on thin lines already. And Chanel is just falling below the pack, I think.
Hey, listen, we're on the same target. We're just low and left. You just got to address that trigger pull a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, moving on to the rest of her looks, we have her swimwear vibe.
Yeah.
Now, I like this. I like that hat. I actually love that hat.
The whole thing was actually good. Honestly, I think, first of all, let me go ahead and get this out the way. Where's this dude's dick at?
Yeah.
Incredible. But also, like, the whole thing really well put together, right? Like, this is cool. Well put together. This is kind of a cool look. Good. And the super long hair, feel it.
Yeah, love the
Seen
long
it on the cover
hair.
of a magazine. Yeah, looks really, really cool.
The bows on the hips and at the ankles, cohesive. It does the kind of feminizing thing, right? Thins the waist out, broadens, widens the hips up a little bit.
Yeah,
great choice.
Can we talk though? Listen, we haven't spoken about this yet because it didn't really matter until now. But for this swimsuit section, they came out and they got to say like a little Miss America style, like, who are you and why should you win? And they get to say like, I am Miss Absolut Mandarin and I should win because, and listen, we already know anytime you ask Chanel to talk, she's gonna fuck it up. And she did this time again. It was like these weird fragment statements put together into a run-on sentence, really like a stream of consciousness of, well, I am myself and I'm proud of me because I myself am beautiful and I think I'm great. And I'm also Miss Absolute Mandarin and I'm beautiful and I'm great and that's me and it's good. Like, that's not word for word, but that was pretty fucking close. You know what I'm saying?
So close. Very, very Chanel classic, just sort of rambling anything that she thinks and is like repeats herself a ton. I swear she had like 4 sign-offs at the end of it. She was like, and thank you. That's all I have. I appreciate your time. Thank you again. That's all I have.
It's almost a running joke.
It's very, it's just like, Chanel, shut up.
Just say, you know what? She should have said, I am Miss Mandarin and I should win. Thank you. And that would have been better than what the fuck she said. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I even wrote that down. I said, her answer also sounded scripted and rehearsed, which it did. It sounded very scripted and rehearsed. It was like it was kind of a canned, like pageanty kind of answer, which I think is the judges, like it feels insincere thing. But then I also put, she still probably talked for 30 minutes.
Dude, yeah, like, it's the type of scripted and rehearsed where you remember all the words, just not in the right order. So like you get past the words that you were supposed to say and you have to jump back and say those words at some point, but it doesn't really fit in the rest of the sentence, but God damn it, they got to get out there. So I'm going to say them anyway. Yeah. That kind of scripted and rehearsed.
Absolutely. Like Chanel just kept jumping back and forth. None of it was really cohesive at the end of it. And it was a lot of just that stream of conscious rambling again. We're like, Chanel, honey.
Listen, I'm not laughing out loud a lot of times during this show while I'm watching and taking notes, but I laughed out loud when that happened. Just big old belly laugh. Great.
It's like we both knew, like, as soon as they started asking questions, as soon as Chanel got this question, something was going to happen.
I was waiting. I was rubbing my palms, boy. I was waiting for her to come out.
It is exactly what we expected. Very funny. But yeah, this look, I think, miles better than the Office executive look that we just saw.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definite recovery here.
Yeah. And I think of the swimsuits, this one's my favorite one so far.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to not be biased. This is probably the most put together one.
Yeah, of just the swimsuits. Definitely not the whole runway so far, but just the swimsuits. If we isolate those, I think Chanel has the best one. Moving on from the swimsuits into Chanel's final look, the evening gown, which is just Vegas showgirl still.
Yes. Right. Big, giant thing on your shoulder. Not huge a collar this time,
feathers.
But big enough to be mistaken as a collar.
Yep.
Yeah, huge feathers in the back of the head. Definitely, anytime you put feathers in your hair, especially that large, to the point of it being a plume, you're definitely given showgirl vibes. And when you've been asked to not be a showgirl so many times, probably not the right move.
Probably not the best look. And like, are we serving like extravaganza eleganza here? Or are we serving like, honestly, like showgirl? Like, this feels like an outfit you would see as like a side segment in a show in Vegas. Like, this wouldn't be the final look. This wouldn't be the first look. This is just, there are 4 background dancers that walk out in this and do like a sultry walk on the stage while someone else is performing in the main front and then walks off.
Question though, does it change if she takes the feathers out of her hair?
I think it does. I think it makes it less showgirly. But the shoulder plume too is really throwing me on this.
The shoulder thing is not. Yeah, it's not great. I think is that where she's incorporating the mandarin oranges? I can't really tell.
I don't know. I don't know if we ever specifically addressed it in the episode. If we do, I don't remember it. But everything's. I don't know. Did I write it down?
Everything's so big, I can't tell where these little tiny mandarins would go. But it's like Nina. Like, we're going big hair in the wrong way. It's fine. In fact, knowing that she's not a seamstress and she put this together, like, you're in the final 4, so that doesn't count for shit. But like, personal points, right? I give you credence to the fact that you can't sew things together for shit, and you put this together on your own. But not between all these queens, not the strongest look here.
No, not the strongest look. I think even with Nina's being kind of pedestrian and not necessarily something you would expect to see at like a full extravagant ball, I still think it was a little bit better than this. Like, I just didn't like this look. So for Chanel, for me, she's 1 for 3. She's 1 for 3 right now.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I don't know where I land on this dress, really. Extravaganza, eleganza aren't words. But I can kind of take the connotation of what that's supposed to mean. And this is definitely, this is extravagant. Not sure that it's elegant.
There you go. Yeah, I would agree with that. Just didn't hit for me. I do think the judges kind of gassed a little bit when she came out and like seemed like they were quite impressed with it. I think it's like a good look overall. I just don't love it in the challenge. I don't love it in the prompts. I don't love it with everybody else going on. So it's not doing it.
Yeah, I feel that.
So not a great showing for Chanel. She was really nervous through the workroom like BB, but where BB turned it out on literally everything, Chanel is like 1 for 3. She had a good swimsuit. Everything else didn't do it. Didn't do it for me. Not loving it.
Didn't quite hit the mark.
Not looking great for Chanel here. Moving on, we have our favorite, Miss Rebecca Glasscock. and her executive look, which
Mm-hmm.
like, what again, I want to bring it back up. I think I mentioned this when BB was up. We don't know how much they actually make for the executive look. They are allowed to wear stuff they bring things, and the only two queens that mentioned whether or not they have things are Chanel and Nina. So for Rebecca and BB, there's possibilities that they did not make some of these clothing items. It seems to me like Rebecca probably did not make the jacket or the pants for this look. Maybe just made the top. I was hoping to get some clarity on that. We don't ever. If she made the pants, props. Making a good set of pants that fits is hard to do. Like, fits well. That's a difficult thing to do. If she did that, props. If she didn't make the pants and she just put together this top, I'm not impressed. It looks like a black corset with some like shredded up fabric draped on top of it.
I think she should have left the jacket on here. Listen, Rebecca, I don't like you. I'm just going to put that out there. Okay. All that aside, I've definitely seen something like this in the office. Even the like shitty, frilly, ripped up piece of shit shirt you have on. And you know what? When I saw it, I didn't like it. So I don't like you. I don't like your shirt. I don't like the look. I'm sorry. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Is it real? I definitely think it's based in realism. Does it hit the requirement for the challenge? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It ticks the box.
But it looks like shit. So
it don't look good.
Sorry
look
about
at the
you.
wig, man. Let's take a second to talk about this wig. What is going on with this wig?
I've got a theory. Okay.
Okay. I'm ready.
Rebecca's wig bag, if that's a thing, her wig case,
luggage item,
got left and lost whenever she took the flight. I think she's been wearing the same motherfucking wig for every single challenge, every single episode, because this is the same. She keeps restyling the same wig, and it's getting more and more raggedy every single time. Tell me I'm wrong. Rebecca, listen, call us. I know only 4 people, and now Kevin's mom is watching, but let us know where the rest of your wigs went, because I swear this is the same fucking one.
Yeah, I think there might be some legs there, man, because if I don't know what's going on here. This wig is so many different lengths. There's like, it looks like maybe a short bob cut from the front, but then in the back you have this like loose, messy ponytail kind of tie together thing. Because it's the same
fucking wig, dude. It's the same fucking wig.
She's like,
she's cut it a couple of times.
Fuck, I can't. I already cut this. I can't do this. It's just the same thing.
I'm telling you, man, it's the same shit. I believe it wholly in my heart that that's the same wig.
It looks so bad. Like,
and in that, in case we didn't make it clear, is also bad. Same wig,
bad
is also bad. Yes,
it was a cheap wig when she got it. By now, it's the poor thing.
Yeah,
I almost feel sorry for it. Right?
Yeah. Yep. For the wig, not for her. Yes.
Yeah.
To
Rough
be clear.
wigs. So the overall look, mid for me. Like the outfit, mid. Adding the horrible wig on top, this is bad. This is bad.
Agreed.
Like, this is worse than Chanel's look. Like, Chanel's, both of them are the bottom for me right now. Chanel's executive look and Rebecca's executive look are the bottom. And Rebecca just looks young and messy. Like Rebecca always looks, young and messy. Don't know what else to say.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Up next, we have Rebecca's swimwear look.
All right, this is the last one. Where did that dude's dick go?
Where that dick at?
Crazy. Where that dick at? We need I'm gonna get a T-shirt, boy. Where that dick at? First time in drag. First T-shirt.
Just wear that with no context.
I'm just saying, man. It's crazy.
I love it.
This to me reads, and it's okay that it does, but this to me reads Playboy Bunny for some reason. Like we're the bunny at the bunny mansion. That's fine. That wasn't the prompt, but that's fine. You know, as far as the swimsuit goes, it is a swimsuit. You got a bow in your hair. Yo, dude, hold on. Different wig. That's a different wig.
She
Why didn't you
borrowed
put
this
on
one
that
from
wig?
somebody.
You're right. She borrowed this
Honestly,
wig.
where
Yeah,
was this
she should have
wig?
been wearing this whole wig the whole time because this wig is way
Yeah,
better than that chopped up
this wig.
piece of shit she was wearing earlier.
This is probably the best wig she's had on. I didn't even think about it before, but yeah, especially after all the attention we called to the wig in the previous look, this wig looks 1,000 times better.
Yeah, this wig slamming for sure. This look overall is fine. I just don't like you.
Yeah,
Rebecca, not you. I like you, Kevin. I'm doing this podcast with you. Fuck
I
you,
appreciate
Rebecca.
I was nervous for a second. I was like,
good.
oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
No, you chill.
I like this. I think it's kind of basic, you know. Rebecca does basic, and she did this basic relatively well. So yeah, not a ton to say. The bow's cute. She looks cute. All right, moving on. Right, moving on. Evening gown. Now, this to me is the worst look that hits the runway tonight. This is the worst one.
Interesting. I don't know that this is the worst look. I think her first look was the worst look, but this is giving man to me. This is giving man in a dress to me. It's very, very square, very boxy. If you put tits on, they ain't very big. I'm sorry. So like,
no, maybe those like pads, but yeah, there's
this
no
reads
like breastplate or anything going on.
This reads man in a dress, and I do think that this is an all right attempt at a dress. It's not my favorite style of dress, but you look like a man in it. The makeup even is a little iffy for the first time. I think she looks like she got in a fight a little bit.
It's not great. Yeah. The earrings are cute.
The hair is good. I think the hair is good.
This is the wig from the swimsuit. She just went back and ruffled it up a bunch and stuck some lemons in it.
Yeah. She took the ponytail thing and just flipped it upwards. Yeah.
Just flipped it up and stuffed some lemons in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like from the ears up, this is good, but anywhere from the earlobes down, not great.
Yeah. I don't love the way the lemons are incorporated into the hair. It looks accidental to me. Like it doesn't look like it's done with any particular intention, which I guess is what accidental means, but I just didn't love it. It kind of looks like she fell headfirst into a pile of lemons and got out with some lemons stuck in her hair. Like that's kind of where it fell from me.
There's also lemons on the dress.
There are for sure. Which I think are okay. I have other problems with the dress, and it's not the incorporation of the lemons. The main is like the whole torso and midsection. The bottom of the dress, like the construction of the dress overall is very, or at least appears to me to be very rudimentary. I don't see anything here from my limited knowledge of sewing that reads as a very difficult thing to do. Right. This looks like fabric just draped on her. Right. She kind of wrapped a little bit around her neck, tied it up and draped it around her tits. And then the rest of it's just falling and hanging and free flowing. It's not even hemmed around the bottom, which I think one of the judges points out.
They do, yeah.
So there's just from a construction standpoint, I don't read anything that seems particularly difficult. I think the showstopper is supposed to be this like feathery yellow corset thing that's happening in the middle section. To me, ugly as sin.
It's part of what makes her so boxy.
Corn, 100% is what makes her so boxy. It does read corn.
Yeah, that is kind of the husk of the corn, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not cinched in enough at the waist, and Rebecca doesn't have any additional padding to widen up her hips or widen up her bust at all. So it just makes her into a tube. It almost makes her look a little bulbous around the midsection, like she's bloated. It does not look good. The structure of the whole thing, I think, is very, very basic, very rudimentary. It's certainly not reading like extremely extravagant or elegant, right? It's like maybe a homemade attempt at making a really nice dress. And for this far into the competition, like I'm not trying to see anything that looks homemade walk out here on this runway.
Agreed. Yeah. And also, I'm not sure that I've ever seen Rebecca do extravagant or elegant.
No, she only has those two cards, and extravagant and elegant are not one of them.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So don't love this. I don't know if we have a ton more to say about it. Just that it's not good.
I'm trying my hardest not to just like bash this person that I don't think deserves to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And in with that, it means that I have very little feedback because it's just going to be a lot of the same, basic, not done well, almost unfinished,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously lacks experience. I think that about
Yeah,
sums it up.
agree. It sums up this look, sums up Rebecca, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is the final look we have to go through one by one. So I do want to get into the judges' like critiques and the question, the who should be eliminated question that the queens get asked. So did you have anything that really stood out particularly to you about the judges' critiques when they get into it and start talking to the girls?
No, actually, in fact, I didn't even write anything down because I feel like I basically agreed with everything. A
Yeah.
lot of the judges' critiques were kind of like a whole bunch of nothing. I think you
Yeah.
called I'm going to call back to a term that you used for the very first episode. The first episode was a nothing burger. And in the same way, like the judges' critique section was really just a big nothing burger and was really
Yep.
used to set up like this thing with Chanel that I know we're about to talk about.
Yeah, I'll do like a quick run through. So the judges kind of move from girl to girl, and yeah, they don't say a ton. They mostly positive critiques. Judges get to BB. They love everything that she put together. They think she's got a great look. Jeffrey called her a chocolate raspberry, which was, I was like, funny. I had to write that one down.
Yeah, chocolate covered raspberry is probably the greatest critique out of this whole episode.
Yeah, yep. And Rue specifically gave BB a lot of compliments. So BB just getting showered with compliments in the critique, which is great. We also agree BB looks fantastic. It's a great episode for her. Nina also great critiques. They don't say a ton about her. They comment on how toned down her take was for this compared to what they do. They like everything she did. They just don't seem to love her. Chanel, on the other hand, does get some mixed critiques. She gets, things they do like. They don't love the gown look because they say it's a bit too much, kind of leaning that showgirly thing. And she again gets called out for being insincere. And that's kind of the only thing they have to say, right? They don't love the gown look and they talk about her being insincere, which I think gets under Chanel's skin a little bit in this segment.
You think?
Yeah. And then they get to Rebecca, and Rebecca honestly gets read for filth by these judges. Like I said before, Santino says her dress is giving corn. Like,
it was like
they
a
say
baptism.
her construction's bad. Yeah. They talk about the things we kind of mentioned, the no hemming on the dress. Yeah, Jeffrey from Absolut does say, like, the only kind of positive critique Rebecca gets is Jeffrey says that he really likes the hair. I think you might agree with that. As I mentioned before, don't really agree with that. I don't love the hair on this look. Then the judges go into, I've got a couple more notes on their critiques, but it's after this segment where Rue does the great drama inducing thing to ask all the queens individually who they think should be eliminated. Do you want to go one by one for each one, or do you want to just kind of rattle through what they all say?
Let's go one by one. Let's go one by one. I think it's worthwhile to give this the credence that it deserves.
Okay. So starting with BB, this is not the order they're asked in the show. It's just the order that I have them in my notes. But starting with BB, Rue asks, who do you think should be eliminated? BB says Rebecca. And when asked why, she says she's hard to work with and just at a lower level than the rest of the competitors.
Yeah. In fact, she said, Rue, I know what you're looking for. Right. She's hard to work with. Rue, I know what you're looking for. And overall, she is just at a lower level than the rest of the people on this stage. And I could not agree with that more. That is specifically what is wrong with Rebecca.
Agree. 100%. Nina is also asked who should be eliminated and essentially says the same thing BB does, is like, I think Rebecca. And Nina quick with that answer. She knew what she was going to say. Who should be eliminated? Rebecca. Rebecca. And basically she says she essentially says, I think the person that wins this should be experienced enough and mature enough to accept this role with dignity and respect, which is basically saying Rebecca does not have dignity or respect.
Period.
So hard to disagree with that. Rebecca, who is actually asked first, we do start with Rebecca, and her first response is, do we just pick one? Which I thought was kind of funny. I do think makes sense given everybody doesn't really like Rebecca and Rebecca doesn't really like everybody else.
It's a competitor's answer.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It's a competitor's answer. Then she kind of gives a roundabouty like, well, I just think I should win and therefore everyone else should go home. And Rua's like, I need you to give me a name. Like, you need to tell me one person. And she goes, okay, Chanel. And why? Because she's annoying sometimes, is what she says.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Specifically. Yeah. Which, you know, I get that. I get annoyed by Chanel sometimes. Mainly when she opens her mouth. But like coming from Rebecca, who has been annoying to watch this whole time, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Interesting choice. Very immature answer, I think, which kind of leads into what Nina and BB say about Rebecca. Finally, we get asked, and Chanel is last to go, probably for the same reason why we're talking about her last. Chanel is asked who should be eliminated, and she offers herself.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Like, man.
Yeah.
That's legitimately the worst answer you could give.
Agree. Before we dive into it too much, I do want to lay out, she offers herself. She explains because she feels like she's not being understood in the competition and is very frustrated that her personality is not getting through, and she's continuously called fake.
Yeah.
So, like, do I disagree with that? Maybe not. Like, I think we talked about it earlier, right? In this episode, but for the past couple of episodes, not only has it seemed like Rebecca has had some favoritism, it does seem like Chanel has caught some flack that maybe she didn't deserve. And like, I think that frustration is really boiling to a head here in this moment when Chanel offers herself. But I personally, I think that's a disrespectful answer. I think it's disrespectful for the judges in the competition. I think it's disrespectful for your other competitors. Like, I don't care how bad you don't want to be there. If you're still there and you're still competing, like, you don't let anybody know that.
Yeah. I mean, I will give Chanel props for standing up for herself. I have also, even though I'm not the biggest Chanel fan, I also feel her frustration of getting the same note over and over again, especially about like your personality's not coming through. You seem fake. And basically, you're just calling me a fake person because this is my personality. And after receiving that feedback for so many episodes in a row, I think I'd be fucking pissed too. And I would say something about it or want to. But I don't know that saying something about it when you're asked who wants to leave this competition or who do you want to eliminate from this competition is the right time. This is a timing thing, and choosing yourself as the person. She says me because I don't want to be here anymore, and then goes to say because I'm not understood. You guys keep calling me fake. You're saying that my personality is not showing, and this is me. This is my personality. I don't know what to do about it. So I feel like I'm not valued for who I am in this competition. So I guess eliminate me. Yeah, that's like sealing your fate, honestly. Like, as a judge, I hear that. I'm like, okay, well, go home.
There's the door.
Door's that way. And have a nice day. Pick up your check on the way out. We do owe you a stipend still. But now we have our final three. Thank you. So, like, not the right time to say that kind of shit. You're in a competition. You can't say yourself. You can say, Rebecca should go. I think that she's been a favorite this whole time. And it's really, really weird that you guys keep ragging on me for having no personality and being completely fake over and over again when I show consistent personality and consistent professionalism. And Rebecca hasn't shown a dime beyond the basic ass bitch that she is. That would have been a really, really strong argument and would have gotten her point across. But instead, she said that she wanted to eliminate herself.
Yeah, I agree. She takes a little bit of a self-pity approach about the whole thing and not like a competitor approach. And like, well, you know, there's something to be said about you being able to make that argument without shitting on somebody else. Like, I think it's important to draw the distinction and be like, I would have loved Chanel to call out that, like, y'all are playing favorites with Rebecca. Cause like you just look at her on the stage with the three of us and it is clear she is not, like, we're all in our evening gown dresses. It is clear she does not deserve to be up here. Right.
Straight up.
Am I going crazy? And I feel like y'all are mad at me because I seem insincere because I'm like a perfectionist. That is a personality trait, by the way, a real one that I have.
Honestly.
Like, dinging me for that and saying that makes me fake. While you have somebody up here who is the most canned, insincere person I've ever met in my life, who is also not as good as the rest of us, is blowing my mind. So Rebecca should go home.
Preach. My chains have been broken. Set me free, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
That I would have loved to hear that, but instead she took that self-pity route and was like, just get me the fuck out of here. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, I'm done with y'all. I'm done with this shit. You guys think I'm fake. Fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all.
All right.
It was a very fuck y'all take. It's like, okay, fuck us, fuck you too then. Bye.
But the way that the judges took it, honestly, kind of graceful. Like, even Rue was like, I want you to know, I feel like I've said it before, but in case I haven't, you are beautiful. And I do appreciate you for who you are. Maybe she didn't say that, but like, kind of like a summation.
Paraphrasing,
and Chanel was like, thank you.
Thank you.
Like, that feels really, really great. And we could probably go back and watch the episodes. Maybe it hasn't been said to Chanel. And like the relief on Chanel's face to just hear that she is beautiful. I think all of us universally can kind of understand that feeling. And with that, I sympathize with Chanel. 1,000% I sympathize, because I know what it is to like literally have to beg for someone to tell you what you're doing right. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't have to beg for someone to tell you what you're doing right. And to finally hear it and to get that is honestly a relief. But you set yourself up for it in the wrong way, unfortunately, in a competition, period.
In a competition. Yeah. And I mean, let's get into the judges, because they do convene after this discussion and talk about kind of what the queens say, in addition to some of the stuff they've said about their runway looks. And yeah, Chanel does get some grace on this. Yeah, Chanel does get some grace on this. She kind of gets that same conversation we had before. And this is maybe where I thought she got the grace on the headpiece falling off, where the judges were like, well, we're asking her to be vulnerable and be real. And that is the most vulnerable and real thing anyone could do right there. So like, in a lot of ways, we're kind of telling her to do these things and she's doing them. So I kind of agree with that, but I do see, like, at the end of the day, you can't say you don't want to be here. You just can't say you don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, honestly, that bit with the judges saying all of that stuff, I think was like a saving bit, like a publicity bit. You have to give into that a little bit, but in reality, we all know what this is leading to. Like, Chanel, you said you don't want to be here. All right, go prove it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. We're too late into this competition. There's too much on the line for the winner for us to continue with somebody who doesn't want to do this.
Yep.
Right. And I think it was a bad thing to say. I don't think it was true. I don't think Chanel meant that she didn't want to be there, that she didn't want to win. I think she was just frustrated and angry and kind of lashing out a little bit. But that was an
exaggerated statement to convey the way that she was feeling. Definitely get that. But timing. I'm telling you, every time you ask Chanel to open her mouth, she fucks it up. And this is another one of those times in a much more drastic manner.
Yeah, just got to work on the self-end editing and like really be more thoughtful with what you say and how you say it, you know?
Yes.
Unfortunate. The other thing the judges kind of convene and chat about from these answers is how all the girls say Rebecca. All of them. Like,
surprise.
Even Chanel, they're like, okay, but who else would you send? She's like, Rebecca.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, I nominate myself, but if I have to name somebody, Rebecca. Yeah.
Easy. Should be an easy choice for anybody, right? We would have thought 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. And the judges comment on how the other girls want to go home and then kind of low key agree with them. And they're like, well, I mean, of the 4 people up here, she is the worst, I think. So it's like, if you think that, why is she still here?
Honestly, we've been thinking that for a while. Thank you for welcome to RuPaul's Drag Race. We've been watching for the last 6 episodes. It seems like you guys showed up on episode 6.
Just got here. Yeah.
Allow us to catch you up. Rebecca's a piece of shit. Get her out of here.
Rebecca sucks. Yeah. She's not doing good. She doesn't deserve to still be here. Why is she still here? Yeah. So, lo and behold, after the judges' critiques, after we have the question and everything, it gets revealed. Well, for a start, we'll do the positive stuff. We announce a winner who is, no surprise to anyone, BB Zara Benet.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
BB.
I know you're happy. We got the little
back in the right place on the throne.
Get some sound effects going. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
BB
yeah.
winning.
Well
absolutely.
done.
As she should.
Good. Well deserved. Killed it in this challenge. Was ahead above the rest in performance, in appearance, and all of it. Every bit of it. So not surprised by that. We also find out that, which is also probably not a surprise, Nina is safe, and the bottom 2 are the 2 queens that we have been talking the most about in the judges' critique section, Chanel and Rebecca. Right?
No surprises here. Honestly,
no.
If we're going to, even if Chanel didn't say, I don't want to be here, the 2 performances of this episode that were at the bottom were Rebecca and Chanel. And it should be the lip sync for the lip sync for your life. This should be the lip sync that we see. This is the matchup, and it's right.
Yeah. You know, all the like maybe agreeing and disagreeing with the judges and stuff. And to this point, I do agree that BB should win, Nina should be safe, and Rebecca and Chanel should be in the bottom.
Yes.
I just do. I think that's the right call here. The song they're going to be singing against each other is Shackles by Mary Mary.
Ooh, and boy, let me tell you about a hood classic. Oh my God. You hear
I'm
this
not super familiar with this song, so
you hear this every single morning when your mom's cleaning, bro. If you are from the right family. And you got the right pigment. You hear this every morning on Sunday when your mom is cleaning. It's what wakes you up in the morning, and you know your mom's cleaning. I love this fucking song. In fact, after the episode was over, I just went and listened to it because, it's been a while. And God, I love this
great
song. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to work with here with the queens. So I want to spend a little time. We probably won't spend a ton of time, but I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the actual lip sync performance, right?
Okay.
I don't think there's a lot to take away from this. The only things I really wrote down, Chanel was doing more. She's using more of the stage. She was dancing around more. She was moving a lot more. The edit favored Rebecca a ton. Like,
yes.
It's like we're watching Rebecca lip sync and just periodically cutting to check in on Chanel and what's going on in her side of the woods. You know what I mean? And then we're back to Rebecca. So. And Rebecca is giving face, but like nothing else. She's just standing there.
She's definitely giving like soloist vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm dancing a little bit, but I'm standing still because I have to maintain this core posture in order to be able to sing effectively in the beautiful way that this song is sung. However, you're not singing. This is a lip sync battle, and I expect because of that to see you be a little bit more active.
Yeah,
now,
a little more animated.
We go on to the other side of the camp. Chanel's definitely being more active. Is it the right kind of active?
Is it there?
I don't know.
Honestly,
we got a little bit of like Six Flags dance going on here, and it's not like the best thing I've ever seen in the world.
True. Doesn't really fit with the vibe of the show or the vibe of the song, but also honestly hard to make a judgment call because we don't see it. We see most of Chanel's performance in the background of Rebecca being on screen.
Straight up. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And so like, I
Um,
feel like as soon as this lip sync started, we knew what the result was going to be because of the edit.
I could give into that. I think that Rebecca again is she may be in the bottom two this time. She's someone's bottom every night. Uh, that's a part of this show and is definitely getting favors in editing as well as favors in progressing in this show. Chanel just said that she wants to leave in a like really, really big way and is not really doing much to be able to steal the camera. I wrote down the note I wrote down for this is I don't really know what's going to happen because this is mid overall, both of them very mid performances.
Yeah, agree
And
with that. Yeah,
but Chanel said that she wants to go home. So like, where else is this going to end up?
kind of. Yeah, you kind of self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of set yourself up for it. So yeah, not like it's also a little bit disappointing, I think, to be this late in the season and not have an impressive lip sync for your life for this spot going home.
Yeah, for the finals. Like this
impressive.
is to fight for the spot in the finals. And we get this mid-ass performance out of both of these queens that one of them should have already gone home. The other one out of like the ones that are left, like debatable whether or not she should still be up here, but you know, at least has a shot early on to have been in the final three. Like,
yep.
Kind of a shitty situation.
Yeah. So a relatively lackluster finish we have. The editing does kind of reveal and give away. Rue comes out to make the final decision and like goes on a little bit of the spiel about like Rebecca's potential being what's kept her here in the thing and blah, blah, blah. And then like goes on to say it continues to keep you here. And we find out that Rebecca, let me get it to update, that Rebecca is safe and Chanel is going home. I don't think any of us are surprised. Again, to the point we've both been making, this feels more a decision made by Chanel when she said she wanted to go home than been really anything else that happened after that. But Rebecca stays again and earns her way, well, is given her way into the final three to be up there with BB and Nina, a spot that I genuinely think Angina should have had.
Honestly, if I were to pick any of the queens that have been eliminated, because let's be honest, Rebecca doesn't deserve to be here, I would pick Angina. Directly after Angina, don't get it wrong, Chanel is there. However, like, man, this season has not gone the way, not that I foresaw the season going any type of way, but as I progressed and I've gotten to know these queens and I think I know what I'm looking for. I don't know. You guys are here for my opinion, so fuck if I know what I'm looking for or not.
Yeah. I'm sure the comments will be happy to teach us about anything we fuck up.
I'm sure. Yeah. Mom, leave me a comment if you think I'm wrong. Yeah, definitely don't see Rebecca being up here. Would have loved to have seen what Angina. I would have loved to have seen what Angina did with this challenge, bro. With this challenge would have been really epic. I don't think Jade would have done anything super special. Jade would have fallen by the wayside at some point. But yeah, overall, Rebecca's here, and I don't think anyone's happy about it.
Yeah, stays safe, gets to carry on. Chanel goes home. Chanel's kind of indignant through the whole thing, like when she's leaving, and she's like, well, Rue said I'm pretty, so I already won. Like, it's like, okay, you know, not great.
You gave this away. Honestly, Chanel, I'm mad at you because you did the thing that got Rebecca to stay here for. I have to look at Rebecca throughout this whole season because of you.
I thought for sure, I was like, Chanel, do not let Rebecca knock you out of this fucking show. Of all people, you better stay because Rebecca's the one that's about to knock you off. Do not let it happen.
For real.
She's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Send me home. I don't want to be here anymore. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
Slayed me.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of this episode. What is it? Penultimate episode for
indeed. Yeah.
The season. We usually do a segment here where we talk about our predictions and rankings. I think I could probably guess who your number one is, BB. Right?
Damn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was more secretive than that. Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. She's my number one too. At this point,
Hey,
BB,
yeah, that's
I
what I'm
think
talking
is set
about.
up to walk away with this. The rest of the queens, as we know, right? There's only 2 queens left, so both of us here at the end, as we walk into what will be the finale, we're both rooting for BB.
Absolutely. Hands
Yeah,
down. I think BB has been the most consistent, the most
easy,
professional. And
easy.
if I were to, I'm not a part of the community, okay?
Uh-huh.
But if I were, and I had to pick one of these people to be representative of said community, it would definitely be BB, right? Like for sure it'd
Mm-hmm.
be BB. Absolutely it'd be
Yeah,
BB. Not only
yeah.
is BB like consistently strong in these challenges and a really, really good, like all around drag queen, but like listen to her answers every time she's asked something in a way that would have to be like publicly stated.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute professional. Like
Such a
there's
professional.
no argument. BB's got to win this thing.
Yeah, BB definitely my top spot for this. For all the reasons you said. Uh, really, really pulling for BB to win this. At the end. To clarify, if anybody is watching this season with us, we are on episode 6 right now. The finale is actually episode 8. There is like a recap episode 7, where they go back and kind of cover the previous challenges and things. We both feel that's maybe not a valuable episode for us to cover, given that's kind of what we do every episode of this podcast. So if you're curious what we think about any of the things that have happened through the season, just go back and watch that particular episode. I'm sure we'll share everything we thought. So we will be jumping back in. It'll be episode 7 for us on the podcast. It'll be episode 8 for the series. We'll be covering the finale. There is a final reunion episode after that. We will be doing that because we care about the drama. We care about the tea. So we want to know what these queens think after everything shakes up. So yeah, really excited for those next 2 episodes, but yeah, our next one, join us next week as we dive into the finale of season 1, RuPaul's Drag Race. And we get to see who is crowned the first ever, drag superstar.
Did not think I'd be saying this. I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is what it is. I'm excited. Am I excited for the season to be over? Yes. But I'm also excited to see who the fuck wins.
Yeah. And excited to get into new seasons with new stuff.
Yes. Also that. Yes.
I'm very excited. Yes. I feel like by the end of season 2, you're going to be locked in. You can be locked in.
Probably. Hey, yeah. I'm here, man. I'm here.
Yeah, there's definitely some growing pains as we've gone through season 1. I can't wait to see this finale. I have no idea, what's going to happen. So very excited about it. I do know who wins, right? But I don't know how the finale shakes up. I don't really know what the challenge is. I don't really know anything about that. So I'm very excited to see that. So yeah, join us next week as we cover the finale and reveal who the winner of season 1 RuPaul's Drag Race actually is. All the excitement, frustration, heartbreak, all of it wrapping up in that next episode. Really excited for it. All right.
Oh, okay. Bye.
Yeah, you do a quick sign off. I think I'm trying to make Stay Fierce stick, so I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. So bye everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Stay fierce.